Do you believe that realizing the American dream now costs $5 million over a lifetime? Well, there's an article from Investopedia that says that it does. How is it going, everyone? My name is John Howard. In this short video today, I'm going to talk about this article of the American dream now costing $5 million, according to Investopedia. And I'm actually going to break it apart a little bit. And I think that I'm going to highlight how I think that they're a little bit off with their estimates. Investopedia recently published an article claiming the American dream now costs $5 million per household. This figure is nearly double the median lifetime earnings of the average American who has a bachelor's degree, or $2.8 million over, let's say, to keep things simple, 40 years, 22 to 62. The implication is that financial security is essentially impossible for most Americans. But it seems this article does not have proper figures, and its purpose is to discourage people unnecessarily. You know what they say in news, if it bleeds, it reads, right? Dramatic things tend to get the attention. Here is where some of the information in their article is wrong. It says retirement, they have a $1.64 million claim. They basically ignored Social Security altogether in their, in that category, and they did not factor in the power of compound growth. With an average Social Security benefit of $24,000 per year for single people and $48,000 per year for couples, the actual investment gap requirement drops significantly. Factor in consistent saving, reasonable consistent saving from 25 to 65 at a compound annual growth rate of 8%, and a single person only needs to contribute $117,000 of their own money. Investments compounding are doing the rest of the heavy lifting. They claim $900,000 for transportation. They're assuming buying 12 brand new vehicles over a lifetime, all financed. By simply extending replacement cycles from 10 to 15 years, choosing more modest vehicles, and paying some cash if and when you can, this drops the figure down to around $614,000, or about $280,000 lower than what they said. They also claim $876,000 for college and children, but this particular amount doesn't account for economies of scale. Meaning, if you have two kids, a second child doesn't necessarily double all the expenses. The second child is not double the expenses of the first child in terms of like housing and utilities and all these other expenses, which are shared expenses because you're a household. Using realistic economical factors means that this is more like $750,000, over a lifetime. When I recalculate using these reasonable assumptions, which are really just practical choices for anybody that has to manage a budget, the actual figure is more like 2.9 million instead of 5 million. So a serious problem with the article is that, the reality is we don't necessarily need to spend 5 million, or certainly don't need 5 million lying around, right? We need consistent income, disciplined spending habits, and time for compound growth to work its magic on our investments. Financial news is flooded with fear-based narratives. If you don't start investing, at a super young age, like before 18, you're already behind. Without a six-figure income, you'll never retire. So it seems like these messages kind of, do the opposite of what financial education is supposed to do, which is it's supposed to empower us, and obviously 40 years, 22 to 62 or 25 to 65 is a long period of time for us to kind of build our retirement, right? So building financial security isn't easy, but it's far from impossible. It's about us living below our means, saving and investing consistently, and making intentional choices about our lifestyle that we want. Not everybody needs a $50,000 car, a $40,000 wedding or more, or 12 new vehicles over their lifetime. We need resources, articles, or content that actually show people a realistic path to financial success. Everybody, again, like I said, my name is John Howard. I've been doing mostly real estate content over the last many pieces, of my content. Kind of been doing videos for a while, but in general, I chose to do real estate content because for me, I've actually done short and medium-term furnished rentals for literally the last 2 decades. And during that time, I also launched and operated 4 different businesses that all went up to 7 figures per year or more. This particular article, at least the way that I read it, doesn't really show real estate. But, the reality is Investopedia does talk about that, and it's more like $1 million. They say that it's like, in terms of everything related to financing, a home, it's about $1 million. And what they're not saying that a home costs $1 million. They're saying that you're going to spend $1 million. So, X amount of money, X amount of dollars on the down payment, and then all the different money that you're going to spend over time. But let me tell you the reason why I've been doing, real estate content. The reason I've been doing real estate content is because, it's kind of an important message. Like for me, here I am, middle-aged, and I'm not at retirement age, but, I'm certainly a lot closer to retirement age than I was when I was 22 or 25, right? But the reality is that even though I did actually have a very demanding career, entrepreneurial career, and I launched 4 different businesses that all went up to 7 figures or more per year, and then one of them was almost actually I had an acquisition offer, which I didn't take, which was, a mistake, but I didn't have an exit, right? But during the good times, I did buy properties, here in Southern California, and I've held on to those properties. Fast forward to now, they do about anywhere on average between 10 to 38,000 on average per month, whereas usually multiple months in a year, I have $20,000 or more in booking revenue. And usually in the past, that's been more like the kind of the May to September timeframe, which is like when bookings are kind of the most robust, but it now kind of is scattered like all over the calendar because I do, mostly midterm rentals now, which is like 30 days or more. But basically the reality is that the reason I'm telling you that is because it's like, real estate is kind of a sure way to actually build wealth, right? As long as you kind of, and that can be done through investment property. And you don't need to be, a genius or a super high income earner to do that. In fact, if you are an executive or a high income earner, you're going to be the best, candidate to actually get the investment property because you're going to be the best candidate to actually, qualify for a mortgage. And some of the content I've done, what I think is compelling is if you actually look at, historical performance, right? For example, the Case-Shiller Index, Robert Shiller is a very famous Yale professor, and he's got the Case-Shiller Index. And they looked at the actual 30-year performance of, U.S. national home price. And actually it performed at 309% from 1995 to 2025, which is 30 years. The reality is, though, is if you actually take that and you take a 10% down payment, and then you factor in leverage, which again, you're, buy a property for $500,000, 309% is 1.599 million. That's actually a 3,090% return, or 31x. If you look at the other indexes and you look at Warren Buffett, it actually beats both of them by 10x, right? So the next best performing stock index was the NASDAQ at 2,116 from those 30 years, 1995 to 2025, and the S&P 500 did 1,008%. Return, right? So as you can see, U.S. Home price, outperformed the S&P by 20x. If you take Warren Buffett and Berkshire is very basically known. Their compound annual growth rate is 5,500,000% over the last 60 years up until the end of 2024. That's really basically 19.9% compound annual growth rate. But they're also very well known for doubling the S&P. So let's just say they doubled the S&P, which is 2,116%. Warren Buffett's at 21x, right, in those 30 years. And if you are a real estate investor, you're going to be at 31x, and that's just appreciation. That doesn't factor in rental income and cash flow. It doesn't factor in depreciation through amortization and active income offset. It doesn't factor in your ability to borrow against the property if you want to actually borrow against the equity if you want to acquire more property or start a business, or also the beauty of amortization, which is actually paying that loan down over time. And it doesn't factor in the sixth benefit, which is you want to actually have a property to retire in that's paid off. When you're ready to retire, you want to have a paid off property that you can retire in, right? So again, there's not many investments out there that you can, invest in that are actually going to give you 5 benefits, or in that case, in my example, 6 benefits, right? and also, have you beating Warren Buffett, the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ by basically 10x, over 10x is 1,000%. So you're beating Warren Buffett by 1,000% over 30 years, with that. And then also, if you do the short, medium-term furnished rentals, or really just even medium-term furnished rentals, you're going to be doing 2 to 3 times better than long-term furnished rentals. So it's going to be, even one property is going to be, millions of dollars of rental income over 30 years. Anyway, if you like this content, you can consider giving the video a like. You could also consider subscribing to the channel. I talk about real estate. I also talked about investing as well as active living. And if you are someone that is interested in getting involved in real estate investing, you can go and look at the description, and there's a link. You can actually go. I have something called the SNTR Launch Kit. Very basic, very inexpensive, something that you can get. I also have very basic and inexpensive email coaching, and I'll have my email address listed in the video. Other than that, if you have any questions, put them in the comments area, and thank you very much.